Where are you in these negotiations? Are you willing to come to a compromise, or are you still pushing for that 20 weekly flights?
I think it's good that we have these talks. The government are actually talking right now, as we speak today, trying to find a new flight regime between the two markets, which then facilitates the next phase of the restart between the two markets and just facilitating for more traffic again. So I think we were operating under a provisional regime, which called a travel bubble, and this needed to be revisited. So I'm actually very hopeful that the two governments will agree on a new flight regime between the two markets, probably this week or even as early as today.
Give us a sense, though, what would be acceptable to Lufthansa, because we know that some of the flights include to and from Chennai, which is a very important route for Lufthansa.
Yes, correct. We were hoping to serve all 4 destinations again that we were serving in India by October, 23 flights a week. So we think we need to serve all the markets, and let's see what the governments negotiate. If they come out with a compromise or not, we will have to see on that one. But we're hoping to serve all 4 cities again and connect Germany with India.
And I think it just goes to show the difficulties of maintaining these types of travel bubbles, Alain, when you have different countries with different infection rates. Do you think that these sort of travel arrangements between countries and countries are sustainable, or are they just more of a wish list?
I think we just need something, a basis to work with. And so we're very happy and hopeful that more markets like the ones India and Germany are talking about introducing travel bubbles until we have the pandemic under control in a way. So there are a lot of talks going on with also other Asia-Pacific markets, a lot of governments that are now discussing how can we facilitate then, if this is ongoing, how can we facilitate especially essential travel, business travel, visiting friends and relatives, emergency travel? How can we facilitate that? And so we believe these travel bubbles are the right way forward to have a reinstating a flight regime between markets in a controlled manner.
You mentioned you're talking to some of these Asian governments. Are you exploring any travel bubbles here in the region at the moment? If so, which ones?
Absolutely. We are lobbying together with industry partners, of course, the hospitality industry, travel, mobility, everyone's affected, of course, in a great way. And so we're uniting together also with the business communities, the Chamber of Commerce in the various markets, and we are lobbying in the government and the health authorities to enable travel bubbles to facilitate the reintroduction of meaningful flight schedules so that essential travel, as I said, can happen again.
You're also seeking to start the Frankfurt-New York route up and running. Can you provide any details on that?
Well, what this is, we've been serving New York all along since the spring. So we have services there almost on a daily basis, also together with our joint venture partner, United. I think what we're now looking at is can we test passengers pre-departure and with rapid testing. So there are now methods in place where you can do rapid testing pre-departure, maybe test again upon arrival and ensure the health authorities that the people that are flying on a particular flight, that they are COVID-free upon arrival at the destination. So this is something that we're going to trial. In October, we're going to test this, get some facts and data around this. And also we're trying to establish this also in the Asia-Pacific market. So we are in discussions with the government of Singapore, together with our alliance partner, Singapore Airlines. We are lobbying the same to be tested in Japan and in other markets in Asia-Pacific. So hopefully this is the way forward to really unlock the quarantine situation, which is, of course, preventing from any meaningful travel going forward.
I'm curious, what kind of demand are you anticipating from these long-haul flights? Where will demand come from?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. What we saw in Europe as we opened up the markets, people were right off the bat were traveling again and were looking forward to go and enjoy themselves again, connect with other cultures, meeting people, friends and relatives. So it's very much leisure oriented travel at the moment because people are also a little bit tired of working from home. In many cases, they want to get out of their city, out of their neighborhood. So we were very encouraged to see what happened this summer. We ramped up capacity to about 40% to pre-COVID levels. Flights were filling up very nicely. So we are quite optimistic that once we have these travel bubbles in place, that there will be a good amount of people coming back wanting to travel again. And with it also, of course, also business travel will come back as well, because there are just simply some meetings that need to happen in person and cannot be replaced by video conferencing. What we hear also from the business communities. We've done surveys as well. Actually, the latest survey that I looked at was in Singapore. The business community there, we surveyed 90 international-based companies, and they all said they need and they have to go back to travel. How much and how soon will they buy these tickets and things like that? Of course, nobody knows at the moment. But everyone's intending to get back to travel in some way or the other.
Yeah, I want to talk more about the on-the-spot coronavirus test that you're about to launch, or at least test in key markets as well. I mean, a passenger could test negative on the day that they board, but then we're not sure if these tests can show whether they've been exposed or whether they actually develop symptoms within 2 weeks after they take it. So to what extent can that actually restore confidence among international flyers and actually be a substitute for quarantine measures?
Yeah, okay, so what we want to try and achieve is, of course, ensure the authorities that traveling on an airplane is safe, in the sense that we will not transport people that are COVID infections per se. So when we test them pre-departure, a few days before, maybe just shortly before departure, then we have the hygiene measures in place, which are quite extraordinary around the travel journey. If you think of the distancing at the airport, the safe measures within an airplane, the air filters, cleaning the air from the virus or any other bacteria. So we want to ensure that people understand and the authorities understand that when someone arrives at the destination, that the likelihood is very, very high. From what we've seen, the data shows that it's 99% or so sure that there is a COVID-free flight on arrival. And then there are, again, tests when you arrive. Rapid test possibilities, and then you have the hygiene and the safe measures within a country as well. So we think, to be honest, there is nothing more safe than traveling on an airplane, if you think about it, when you compare also to a train ride, a bus ride, or any other transportation means. So we think we're in a good position. Will it be absolutely risk-free, 100%? We don't think life is like that, and there will always be a minimal risk. But we think we come as close as possible to zero risk when we apply these measures.
But it's still a very challenging environment for the airline industry, and Lufthansa has already announced a 22,000 job cuts earlier. I'm just wondering, have we seen the end of job cuts? Are you expecting to do more? We've seen, of course, other airlines having to fire workers.
Yes, exactly. So of course, this is unprecedented. We've never seen a crisis like that. The question is, how long is it going to continue? And so that's why we're very eager and interested, the entire travel industry, all our partners, whether it's cruise ships, hotels, because we know people want to travel again. It's not like they do not want to travel anymore. As we saw this summer in Europe, people want to get back on the road. And so we are hoping that we can end this as soon as possible with safe measures around flying, like the rapid testing. As I said, we think testing really is the way forward. And so hopefully this will enable travel again, and then we can safeguard jobs in the industry again all around.